Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? What I expect is Mrs. Winda as a lecturer speaking for academic purposes. And what I love is my friends who has in their respective homes. Salat and greetings might continue to be part to our Lord, the Prophet great Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has brought us from the of ignorance area to this break era. Hi guys, what I'd like to present is teaching is leadership at a young age. So, my name is Bunga Prias Ramadhani. I'm pleased to be here today. Well guys, what I'm going to talk about today is teaching leadership at a young age. Today I will tell you about 5 main points. The first point is a definition of teaching leadership at a young age. Number two is tips for forming a leadership spirit in children or young age. Number three is the example or positive activities in the trained leadership at a young age. Number four is the benefit of teaching leadership at a young age. And the last is the conclusion. And before we discuss further about teaching leadership at a young age, we must know what is leadership. Is according to the Forbes online page, leadership is a process to social influence by maximizing the efforts of others toward the achievement of a goal. And definition of leadership according to Dr. Thomas Garden, group-centered leadership, namely a way of releasing creative power of a groups or a way to bring out the creative power of a group. According to him, the concept of leadership can be realized in the form of interaction that occur between a person and a group, or rather between a person and a group members, where each participant in this interaction is certain affected. The next is I'm going to talk about here are 5 great tips to help you instill the right skill in the future leaders in your life. Number one is a good example. As a leader, you realize the importance of setting a good example for your team. This is even true of your role as a parent by allowing your children to see how will you balance your business and the personal roles. You'll teach them accountability through effective leadership. And number two is encourage team activities. Lay out identify your children's interests and encourage their participation in group activities. Number three is implies perseverance. The best leader learn to handle failures as gracefully as they handle success. It is important to expose future leaders to disappointment rather than protect them from it. Children need to learn to handle the loss and move forward when the other team wins or someone else is elected class president. Number four is build negotiation skills. Every good leaders know the art of compromise. Instead of you giving your children a firm yes or no to a request, make an offer and allow them to counter that offer by offering solid points. 5. On decision making abilities. Children should learn how to make this decision as early in life as possible because children become overwhelmed by too many choices. Narrow down the option to 2 or 3 whether a child is deciding on afternoon activities or a movie to watch. Now, the next is example of positive activities to train leadership at a young age. The first is the class president. A class leader is a small example of basic leadership training in a child. The class president image is usually coveted by children who do have a leader soul in them. Number two is being the study group leader. A simpler thing to train the child's leadership soul is to make him a leader in a learning group. Number three is presiding over the ceremony. In the school, where often the teacher designates a few students to be a flag ceremony leader. Usually, the student decided by the teacher is an honor student or has a firm figure in him or her. Number four is all activities that train self-reliance. A leader must have a strong self-reliance character. Leaders are role models and not always depend on others. Simple things in activities that train self-reliance such as coaching entrepreneurship to learn money, doing even with them self-reliance and so on. Next is benefit of teaching leadership at a young age. Number one is to form skill and the character. Leadership will build character and train one skill. The more quickly trained to more and more powerful the shapes and skill mastered. A study showed that childhood was the time of the windows of opportunity. Number two is building confidence. Leadership early on will generate confidence. The student would never dare to lead if they never held responsibility. Therefore, leadership training in the school will train courage and confidence in leading. Number three is learning to organize, and organization is one of the correct tools for training leadership. School and universities, as educational institutions, must prepare for students to be organized, people of more interest in their experiences than themselves. By organizing, they can directly practice all the learning skills, especially teamwork, so they are ready to become future leaders. The last is conclusion. Leadership or may be essentially shaped and trained from an early age so that in the future when facing some and the problems it can easily seek out and find solution or be alternatively addressing the problem. To that end, spirit of leadership is essential to daily life because a person who has the spirit of mature leadership soul has a high sense of responsibility on any given duty or activity is already his or her responsibility, especially within the day workforce. Um, I think enough for me. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.